Hi guys, welcome to another video and another week and some new stuff happening. So I'm currently on shift now, and this is the last day of this site, which is kind of exciting, kind of not. As much as this site on the face of it seems like a little bit of a nightmare, the one good thing it has had is a power socket. So through the winter and that, the power socket has been a lifesaver for heating and things like that. You guys know that I've got the Bluetti on board if I do require some heating, etc. But having the power socket is nice. And like I say, for this site on the face of it being a little bit crappy, it's been pretty nice over the months I've been doing it. But yeah, this site finishes tomorrow morning, and then so I've got to stay on a little later than I normally would to do like a handover, etc. And then I'll be going to a different site tomorrow. So this is kind of two shifts, finishing a site and then sort of starting a new one. So the new site is close to my first ever site. So I kind of know the area and things like that. The thing is when I first done that site, it was during lockdown, so obviously very different, very quiet and things like that. But this is a site that Prestige have had for quite a while. There is stuff that goes on there, so it's a reasonably active site, etc. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring you guys along for this shift. And like I say, it's going to be the ending of this one and doing sort of the handover. Obviously, I'm not going to film that part of it, but the kind of what I'm going to try and do on terms of the handover, preparing for the handover, etc. And then obviously tomorrow's shift where I start a new site for me that I've not been to before, especially one that's reasonably active, and I just need to figure it out, etc. So yeah, that's what's happening in this video. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys in a little while, where I'll just explain maybe some of the stuff I'm going to do to prepare this site to be handed over. And good morning. It is now 4:30, 10.5 hours into the shift, another 3.5 to go. Like I said, this is a longer shift than I would normally do due to the handover, etc. But we are sort of, I think he's trying to find somewhere to go for a toilet, but we're coming towards the end. Like I say, we're going to be handing this back over in about 3.5 hours time. So now I just want to double check, make sure the site is as tidy as it can be. Make sure there's no dog poo and all that sort of, or wrappers or anything that dog handlers have left. Make sure there's none of that sort of left around. Obviously we want repeat business, and I think this is a company that does give us repeat business. So making sure that we're leaving the site in the best possible thing as it can be. Make sure, pick that up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be doing now. Like I say, sort of 3.5 hours ago. It's only been dog handlers on here for sort of 18 months. So like I say, sometimes stuff gets left and just got to make sure it's all sort of cleaned up. Hold on, let me pick that up. So yeah, to get repeat business, we just obviously want to make it as respectable and as tidy as they would expect it to be, considering the site that it is. Nothing much has really happened. There was a woman that come down to the gate a little bit earlier, and I wondered what she was doing. And then just after that, a recovery truck come and retrieved the car from the car park like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So that was a bit weird. But other than that, it's been a pretty non-event night. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll check in with you guys after I've done the handover, and then we've been making our way home for a good sleep. The thing is today, because I'm finishing at like 2 hours later, and then my shift starts again at 6, it's going to be 10 hours possibly between leaving here and having to be at work again. So there's likelihood that by the time I get home, I'm probably only going to have about 8 hours to have a quick sleep and get out the door again. But yeah, I'll catch up with you guys after I've done the handover, and we can have a chat about something. And we're back. It's just gone 10 o'clock. There was a mix up in the wording of an email, and yeah, not Prestige's fault, but a wording of an email meant that I stayed there longer than I should have. If I'd been crap at my job, I probably could have left 2 hours earlier, but because I'm not, and I wanted to do it properly, I ended up staying for 2 hours longer than I actually needed to. But yeah, not Prestige's fault, but just gone 10 o'clock now, means I'm starting work in under 8 hours. So I need to go in, get some sleep, and then I'll see you guys at work later. And we are at work. And you know what? Not bad. Not bad. There's even an old football cage that I can use for the dog. So yeah, not bad. There's lots of room. There's quite a bit to patrol. I've already gone round and done one patrol. I bumped into the handler that's on my old site, the handler who I'd done my first few shifts with when I first really started. So when I was on that site, I was working alongside him, and had a good chat, because he's been doing this site for the last 3 years and years before that as well. And I spoke to him, got a bit of a lowdown of what's been going on and what kind of happens around here. And yeah, I think there's a regular, quite a common occurrence that someone's on, or the kids are on, trying to break in and smash the place up and things like that. So it is a reasonably active site. He said that they know that the dog handlers are here, and they just sort of jump on, and they're kind of just walking around, or it's all just through boredom. They have nothing else to do, so they kind of just come on here and cause a bit of hassle and things like that. But like I say, it's a nice open space, got loads of room, got grass, and I've got tarmac. Since I saw this last 3 years ago, it's heavily overgrown now. It didn't even look the same. I even wondered if I was actually going to the right gate when I first turned up, because it's completely changed over the last 3 years. It hasn't been mowed, it hasn't been kept at all. But like I say, there's lots of space, tarmac, grass, quite a bit to patrol. So when I get Coop out and we're going patrol, I'm actually going to be patrolling something now. My last site was only about, 20 feet wide and about 200 yards long. It was even hardly patrolling, to be honest. But this site will actually require some proper patrolling. Like I say, I've got the just over there, I've got an old football cage that I'll be able to use for the dog as well, which is going to be quite handy. But yeah, like I say, it's going quite well. No electrics. From what I can see, there's no electrics. There's no toilet, etc. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, other than that, it's not a bad site. But like I say, he did warn me about some of the locals. There's some locals that are quite close to site that apparently can be a little bit lively as well, throwing trampolines over fences and things like that apparently. But that all comes with part of the job. So yeah, I'm just going to settle into this a little bit, and I'll catch up with you guys in a while. And good morning. We are, I think it's about 4 AM. We are coming to an end. Got a couple of hours left of the shift, etc. But we are coming to an end. And some interesting things that sort of happened last night. Nothing, no action. But some interesting things I found out. And I think that this is where talking to people and finding out stuff can help you out. I mean, how good's this little area I've got here? We're locked into this cage, so I can just let him run about. We can play a bit of ball. How good's this little area? And speaking to the other handler that I know regarding this area, I mean, the people around here, they can be nice people, but I don't think they don't like to be pissed about. And when he said about the houses that are quite local, he said that they can be a little bit lively. What it turns out is that the dog handlers were putting their vans quite close to where the houses were, and then the dogs were barking, and apparently they was kicking off and jumping over the fence and having a go at the dog handlers for having their dogs barking through the night when they're quite close to the house. So naturally, what I've done is I've not put my vehicle in that space. I don't want to piss off the neighbours. I wouldn't want to put my vehicle near people's houses anyway, because I do know that Cooper barks if there's a fox or whatever. I know he's going to bark. So naturally, I don't like to put my vehicle near people's houses, etc. And I've put myself in a nice little spot up around this cage so that we can come in here and play a little bit of ball and things like that. So it's not so much that the people around here are bad people. They just don't like to be annoyed. And I think if I lived in them houses and I was sleeping and all of a sudden dogs started barking at the other side of the other end of my garden, I'd probably get the ump about that as well. So yeah, I think I've got a feeling that this site, I mean, never say never, but I've got a feeling that this site is more near the start of the shift is where you're going to get a lot of activity. Where I've placed my vehicle, so I think you sort of have two different ways in which you do it. Is that you either rely on your presence or you rely on your patrolling in order to keep people out. Now obviously having both is ideal, but I think putting the vehicle as a presence is where you're going to have the most problems with the neighbours. So pulling myself away from that, I need to rely, and I do rely on my patrolling. So people seeing me out patrolling as being the deterrent, and people knowing that I'm on here. But I then know I have to rely on my patrolling and my presence of patrolling to be the deterrent. So I've put myself in a little space here to rely on my patrolling and my presence of patrolling to be the deterrent, more than people being able to see the vehicle and knowing that I'm here. So there's two different ways, but I think that this is the best way. Like I say, they've had lots of problems with the neighbours, with the dogs barking, etc. I want to get away from that, and I think it is a little bit of out of sight, out of mind. So if I'm not annoying the neighbours by my vehicle being there, if they do have a few beers over the weekend, or they do have a few beers and they've got the ump with someone, if I'm not there and I'm not annoying them, hopefully that means that they won't start picking on me. So hopefully I'll be able to get away from that sort of trouble that I have had on here by not being their point of attention. So I think that it is a little bit, it is going to be one of the sites. Like, this is just the first shift, so I'm going to see how this goes for a little while. But yeah, I think that's been a successful first night. I think I've settled into the site pretty well. We've done our patrols. We've had quite a nice peaceful night, and this cage here is an absolute bonus. So it's all going to be good. That's going to be the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed this video. So obviously it was the last night of the previous site and the first night of this new site, and yeah, I think it's gone pretty well. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below for loads more videos. There'll be more to come from all of this, but as for now, I'll see you again next time. Cheers for watching. See you later. Bye.